In today's episode, we're talking about a serious subject that touches many new families, postpartum depression.
Today's episode is brought to you by Baby Bjorn, Architect certified safe for your baby, Baby Bjorn.
To get an understanding of what postpartum depression is, what its symptoms are, and how it can be treated, we spoke with Dr. Janice Morris, a family therapist and specialist in postpartum depression.
Before defining postpartum depression, first we'll talk about baby blues. Baby blues is by far the most common. It occurs in 50 to 80% of new mothers. It happens about 3 days after birth and lasts for a couple of weeks. It's associated with that sudden drop in hormones after birth, and new moms will feel irritable, crying for no apparent reason, impatient. With enough rest and nutrition and support of family and friends, it usually goes away by itself. After that is postpartum depression, if they don't get better. And onset is usually within 6 weeks, but sometimes postpartum symptoms can appear 4, 6, 12 months postpartum. It occurs in 1 in 10 new moms, so it's still pretty common. The key symptoms are sleep disturbance. Now, a lot of new moms have sleep disturbance because the baby doesn't sleep well, but if she can't sleep when the baby is sleeping, that's one hallmark. Another is guilt. Moms with postpartum depression feel guilty about not doing a good enough job. They worry they're not bonding with the baby, they don't have the right feelings for the baby. And so those are two hallmarks, but in addition to that, you'll find that they're crying a lot, they might have difficulty getting out of bed, they're feeling a lot of self-doubt, self-criticism, maybe thoughts of, I'd just like to get in the car and drive away and never come back. Sometimes suicidal ideation, thoughts of harming the baby. Postpartum OCD occurs in about 2% of new moms, and it's characterized by these intrusive thoughts that seem to come out of the blue. These ideas like, I could harm the baby, I could drop the baby, I could drop the baby off the balcony, I don't like being around sharp knives. A mom will say, I don't think I would ever do this, but I can't get this out of my head, and it's really upsetting. Does it mean I'm a bad person? Is this normal? One of the first easy things that new dads can do to help is to see if he can sit down with his wife and strategize about how she could get 3 nights of uninterrupted sleep. Whatever way that could happen, sleep is enormously restorative, and once she feels like she's a little more rested, she doesn't feel swamped in these really bad feelings. He could suggest that they go together to see a therapist who specializes in postpartum depression. That kind of therapy is a little different from conventional therapy, so it helps to see somebody who knows something about it. And that therapist can help them decide if it would be appropriate and helpful to see a psychiatrist. There are psychiatrists who are trained specifically in the kinds of medications that are safe if a mom is breastfeeding. And these kinds of things, you can either try to tolerate the thoughts, but if they're disturbing your sleep and disturbing your quality of life, there are medications and there's therapy available.
Obviously, this video is about postpartum depression in moms, but a recent study in the Journal of the American Medical Association showed that up to 10% of dads experience some kind of depression between the first trimester and then that first birthday.
Yeah, well, that's not an entirely surprising statistic, but postpartum depression is a family issue, and I know this firsthand. Because with our oldest child, he didn't get a copy of the birth plan, evidently, because instead of being born naturally, he was born 10 weeks premature by cesarean section. And the difference between those two things really caused my wife a tough time. And she definitely suffered either baby blues or postpartum depression, had a very rocky period after the baby was born, and really kind of put me in the front position, taking care of the little guy in the NICU. So I understand, and I really wish that we'd had more resources available to us then, and I hope that you will take advantage of the ones that are out there now.
Yeah, if you have questions about postpartum depression or you have experiences to share, leave a comment on this video or go to dadlabs.com and join the conversation there.
We want to thank Dr. Jan Morris for lending her expertise to this video, and also thank you very much to Baby Bjorn for making this video possible. We'll see you next time here in the lab.